Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Academy of Fine Learning. Today we are going to learn about the Java variables. We'll learn everything about the Java variables, the different types of the Java variables, and how the different types of Java variables are declared and how they are used in different circumstances. Each and everything we'll learn regarding Java variable. So you have to wait with patience and go through with the entire video without skipping, without fast forwarding. So let's first assume that what do you mean by a variable? Definitely in the maths book you have learned about the variables, correct? And an example is given in front of you here. This particular slide, you can see that 5x plus 2y is equals to 134 is an equation of mathematics. In this equation, you can see that there are three constant values are there: 5, 2, and 134. That the constant values that can never be changed. But there is something called x and y, which is a variables, which can change something to change the output of this particular value. So this x and y is known as the variables in mathematics. And what is the variable in Java? Yes, obviously we are going to learn that. And what is the use of that also you'll be learning. Let me tell you first that in a very short, precise and appropriate definition, a Java variable is nothing but the abstraction of the computer's memory which stores some data. So a variable is the abstraction of the data. The data is stored into a computer's memory. You cannot call the memory location directly. So what you do, Java provides you the abstraction with a variable name. Using the variable name, you can access the data from the computer's memory. You can modify that, you can change that, and you can play with that particular variable, with that particular value, which resides in computer's memory. So this is the objective of this video. Upon completion of this particular video, we'll be familiarizing with the Java variables. You'll come to know what the different types of the Java variables are there and how this Java variable works, which particular type of the variable you should supposed to use at which particular circumstance and need, what the requirement of the variable, and obviously you'll coming to know all these things with the hands-on session. We'll go through with the hands-on. We'll execute some programs in front of you by using Eclipse software. Eclipse IDE is very standard IDE for Java. We'll use the Eclipse IDE and show you all these things. So let's start. So the variable is nothing but a name given to a memory location, as I told. It's a basic unit of storage in a program. Want to store any data in your program. In Java, definitely you require a variable. The variable value can be changed during the program execution. A variable is only a name given to a memory location. All the operation done on the variable affects that memory location, but you don't need to do anything related to memory location because this is a simple abstraction provided to you. So all variables should be declared before using in Java. Now the question is, this is the basics of variable, but how to implement that? How to declare a variable in Java? Declare a variable Java, you should supposed to know regarding the data types. You have to provide the data type name, space, name of the variable, provide the semicolon, and it's done. You have defined and declared a particular variable. Now, how to initialize the variable? Initialize the variable, you have to provide the variable name equals to value and provide a semicolon. It's done. Your variable is initialized. Now let's see the same thing using Eclipse. Now we'll open a project, new Java project. We are creating a Java project. We'll give variable learning. So you are learning variable. So I have given the project name variable learning. We are using the project folder as the root for source and class files. After the class files, after the compilation, the class files will be generated. That will be stored in this particular folder only, where the .java files are storing. That's what it means. Finish. Now right click over here in this project. Just you have created the project. Go to new and create a class. Click on class. Give the class a name. That's what the name I had chosen. You can give any name for the class. The class is the public. Okay, we need a public static void main. So click over here and click on finish. Yes, the class has come to us with a public static void main function. Now we'll see that how a variable can be defined. A variable can be defined simply by data type name, as we have seen in the last slide. So integer is a type of the data type provided by a space int space a variable name, whichever the variable name you like, you provide that, provided that it should supposed to start with a alphabetic value, otherwise some specific characters only it can allow. It should not supposed to start with a number. So I'll give a simple name a, write the semicolon. So the variable a is declared. Now I can give the value to a equals to 10. Now the variable a got the value 10. Now I can, if you wish, I can just simply print the value by system dot out dot println. So we'll print the value, provide the value a, right? Now let's run. This is the run. Now Java application you are running. Click on OK, and we got the output over here in this particular slide. You just follow my cursor. So here the output is generated 10. Now we can modify the value also. Here we can make it 20. So now when you'll execute, what will be displaying? The value of a is now modified, and the value is displaying now is 20. This is the way of declaring a variable, and this is to assign values to a variable. We can initialize the variable while declaring it. So for that, you just provide some value over here. Let it be 15. Yes. So while declaring the variable, we have initialized the variable with some value, and here we have given the value 15. You can give any other value also. Any other values are welcome to. We'll execute and see. Yes, it's showing 15. So this is how a variable can be declared and accessed also. Now we'll see that what are the different types of the variables available. So we can give integer variable, we can change the data type, and the different data types will be generated. Double D is equals to given. Yes. Now if you print this D, you will be printing this value, the double variable. Variable with the type double. Last one, it was integer. 10.46. Now we can give a float. Let's see with the float. A float variable. Float variable, the name of the variable f, then we'll start with some value 12.56, for example. For float, you have to specify using small f or capital. Otherwise, the compiler will consider this as the double Java. So it is a float. So we have provided here f. Now the compiler understands that it's a float data type and float variable. Now we'll print it here. See now? Is it displaying? Yes, 12.56 is also displayed. This way we can define a character variable also. I have given that variable name C, and let's give some value. We'll see that whether it's printing. Let's see. Yes, it's getting printed. So these are the example of declaring a variable and accessing it. It's a very basic thing. Now we'll see that how the naming affects a variable. See that naming can be anything. You can give any name. Okay, any alphabetic name is welcome. But the name should not start with some number. If I give 1, 2, then see this, here only it's showing error. Syntax error on token 1, 2. Delete this token. So they are telling that it should not supposed to start with 1, 2. It can't recognize that variable because the variable name given is wrong. What we need then? It's supposed to make it only start with the either alphabetic number, or there are some special characters which can be allowed, like underscore. If I give underscore, it's working. Now they are not showing any error. Now the compiler is not showing any error. Now we'll see that whether it's printable or not. Yes, it's printable. Now it's printing because there is no compile time error. So they are printing the variable value. Now we can see that if I give any other name, like AS, before that is working or not. Yes, it will work. Again, start it with value, some numeric alphabetic syntax. So I can give dollar sign. Similarly, it will work. So dollar sign also is a special character which is permitted for a variable name. What happened? Dollar and is there. Copy from there and put it here, and we'll execute. Let's say it's printing. So this is the variable, and this is how the variable is declared and initialized, and this is how the naming convention of a variable works for that. Now we'll go to the variables types. Yes, this is how the variable is. Now we'll go for the variable types. There are three different types of the variables in Java. Very important it is. You should supposed to listen very carefully. You should understand, and you should supposed to see the hands-on, which I'll go through after explanation of each and every point. So there are three types of the variables available in Java. The first is the local variables. Second one is the instance variable, and third one is the static variable. A local variable defined within the block or method or constructor. I repeat, a local variable is a variable which is declared and defined within a block. An example of block is if block, or a for loop block, or a while loop block, or a do while loop block. This is the example of block. If condition, then the curly bracket starts and the curly bracket close. So that becomes this curly bracket opening and closing is the scope of the if statement, and that is the block of the if also. We can say it's the if block. The body of the if is the block of the if. As simple as that. So a variable which is defined inside the if block will be known as the local to that if statement. It doesn't have any impact outside of the if block. It cannot be recognized outside the if block. It can only be recognized and accessed inside the if block. Similarly, a variable which is defined inside a method like public static void main, that can only be accessed from that particular method only. So if you define a variable which is inside public static void main or any other method, then that variable can be only accessed from that particular method's body, not from outside. Similarly, there is a constructor in Java. A Java constructor is used for initializing object while creation. So inside the constructor body, if you assign and if you define or declare any variable, that variable scope, that variable can only be accessed from that particular body of the constructor. Yes, let's see that now. We'll see that how much it is applicable in our Eclipse. So here we are defining this particular variable we have defined, correct na? Let's try to modify its value to 20 outside of this. This is the scope. This is the curly bracket starts. Yes, I'll make it the next line so that it will be easier for you. The public static void main is the method. In this method's body starts over here and closes over here. If I try to modify the variable outside of this body, then let's see what happens if I provide the value 20. Suppose I just want to modify the value to 20 from 15. So see this, what is telling? Syntax error on token, this particular variable name they are displaying, the compiler. Variable declared expected after this token. So they, as a matter of fact, the compiler telling that I don't understand what is this, because their scope of this particular variable is inside the scope of this public static void main. Outside, it doesn't know what is this. As simple as that. Well, so this is an example of a method body. So I'll show a if statement. If is equals to 15, then it's equals to 15 only, na? If this particular variable, okay, I'll make the variable name simple now. AA, okay. If AA is equals to 15, then what we'll do? Then we'll define another variable which is double the value of, or we'll make double the value of AA. Yes, now we see that can we print the value of BB or not? Definitely we can print the value of BB, because BB is defined inside the if block. This is the if block, correct? If starts over here, taking the condition, and then if the condition is satisfied, then this particular block it's entering. and the cursor will go, the program's control will go through this block, line number 10 to line number 13. This is the if block. So inside the if block, we are declaring this variable. So we are into variable. So variable name is bb. bb variable is defined in line number 11 and it is getting printed in line number 12. Yes. So it is double the value of AA. If you execute, we can see that it will be printed. So it was 10 is printed from this line, line number 8, this 15 number is printed. From line number 12, this 30 is printed. Because we are printing here, you are making it double over here, but we are printing here. Through line number 12, this particular value we are getting. That's absolutely correct. Now, we want to know that whether the scope of BB remains after if block. The answer is no. So if you want to print this value from here again, see this now. I'm trying to print the value of 30 again over here. Will it be happening? No, because the scope of this variable was inside the if block. When I have come out of the if block, there is no use at all of this particular variable because it's a local variable. It's a local variable. So this BB is having the impact only inside the block of if. So this local variable cannot be recognized over here. The BB cannot be resolved to a variable. It doesn't know is it a variable. Compiler here in line number 4 doesn't know it's a variable or not. Yes, so we have seen the second example. That is, we last time we have tried to see that a block and method. Similarly, if we define a constructor, the same thing will be defined. The same thing will be shown, that local variable which is defined inside a block, inside a method, or inside a constructor will be remain accessible within the block or within the method or within the constructor where it is defined only. It cannot be accessed from outside. Full stop. Yes. Now these variables are created when the block is entered or the function is called and destroyed after exiting from the block, or when the call returns from the function, as we have seen. So we'll see through a function here. Yes, we have seen through a function. We'll define some function. Yes, we can define some function. Let's define a simple function. Function, call it method in Java, but the term intended. Yes, void myfunc. Myfunc. We'll call this. Okay, we have seen this example, so I'm deleting this part. Now we'll see that how local variables are local to a particular method. So we'll define something. Yes, it's all fine, but we cannot use it over here, not print value over here, but it's local to that only, outside this method. Can we call this? Can we use it? No. Is showing what? Showing ABC cannot be resolved to a variable because it doesn't know that whether what it is actually. We'll cut it. We'll paste it over here and it will work very nicely. Yes. So now we have to call the void myfunc. So for that we have to create an object of the class. We'll create an object of the class test variable. We'll give the name of the object object1. We use the new keyword for creating the object, and we have to use the default constructor. So we'll give first bracket open and close. Now the object is created. After the object is created, now we have to call this particular method or function, whatever you say, myfunc. Yes, now we'll see that successfully it is calling the value. It is this line number 12 is printing the value 15 for this particular variable, and line number 14 is printing the value 25 for this particular line from line number 6. Yes, so you can see that it can only accessible where? Only from inside the body of the myfunc. So whatever it is printing, that we can get through an object by calling the function, but we cannot use it here directly. So this is what happens with the local variables. So we'll delete this. So the scope of these variables exists only within the block in which the variable is declared. I hope that from the last program it is 100% clear to you. The initialization of the local variable is mandatorily. So you can initialize the local variable before use. It means, it doesn't mean that if you don't initialize it will throw an error. If it means that if you want to initialize the data, then only you can get the value, that particular value you can get in the output screen. Now we'll go to the next type of the variable, instance variable. An instance variable is a class variable. It is known as the class variable. Yes, instance variables are non-static, non-local variable. There are three types of the variable: local and static. This is neither local variable nor the static variable. These are declared in a class outside any method, constructor, or block. So instance variable are just opposite of local variable. The local variables can be declared only inside a block, or only inside a method, or only inside a constructor. But the instance variable can never be declared inside a block, or inside a method, or inside a constructor. Very simple. Yes, so it should be declared outside of the method. So for this particular class, public class test variables, if we wish to declare a instance variable, we cannot declare over here because the bracket opens here and close here, na? So this public static void main, this is the block of the public static void main method. So outside the method, outside the block, and outside the constructor only, you have to declare a instance variable. So if you want to declare an instance variable, we have to provide the variable over here only. So we'll provide a variable name, my instance variable. I hope that you can understand. My instance variable. Yes, I have given this name, my inst variable. I have given this particular name. Now these variables are created when an object of the class is created and destroyed when the object is destroyed. So to access an instance variable, it is mandatory that you create an object of the class. If you don't create an object of the class, then this instance variable cannot be used. So unlike local variables, we may use access specifier for instance variables. For local variables, we can't use access specifier like public protected. It will throw an error because anyhow it is local to that particular block only, na? How can you make it public or protected or default or something else? Public, private, protected, these are the access specifier. These access specifiers cannot be used inside for any local variable, but it can be used for an instance variable. For example, if we provide this is the local variable integer AA because it is defined inside the method of public static void mains block. So if I want to make it public, it is not a good idea. Why? Because this throw a compile time error. The program will not compile because it's a local to this particular block. Why you are making it public? It cannot be anyhow it cannot get access outside of line number 11. Because line number 11 is its boundary, its block's boundary. So we cannot make it public, or let me give some other access specifier protected. It will also throw an error. It is throwing error. So for local variables, you cannot declare inside any method with a access specifier. Full stop. So we can use access specifier for this instance variable. You can make it public. So if you make it public, then what will happen? This integer variable named myInstVar will be accessed outside of the class also. If we make it protected, then what will happen? If I change it to the protected. Now protected access specifier will make it in such a way that it can be used inside the class and only for those class which has inherited the class test variables. So if any class inherits test variable, there myInstVar will be having accessed, but not to anywhere else. You can make it private also. If you make it private, then what will happen? It can be only, that is myInstVar variable can be used only inside the class test variables. It cannot be used anywhere else. And if you don't provide any access specifier, then by default it is the default access specifier. Yes, it can be used inside the body of the entire class. So to access myInstVar, we need an object to be created. So here we have created this object. I'll delete this local variable now. So an object is defined over here, only this object can access this particular. Let me give some initialization value 100. I have initialized the variable myInsvar with the value 100. So now I can call it by ob1 dot myInsvar. I can just call it directly. I'll print it. I'll print this value and system dot out dot print only. For print, now the cursor will not go to next line. It will store over there in the same line only. For print ln, it will go to the next line. That's what the ln is there in print ln. So okay, we'll see that there is no error. There is no error as displayed from here. So we'll just click and we'll get the value. See this. So this object 1 is accessing myInsvar. Otherwise, we cannot directly access it. I'll try to directly access this variable, this instance variable, and see that what it will happen now. Error has occurred in line number 7. Cannot make a static reference to the non-static field directly. So basically it is telling that myInst variable is the instance variable. How can we directly access from here? You have to use an object to access it. That's what the compiler is doing. It's scolding you actually. Well, so in this way, a particular instance variable can be used. Yes, so this is the basics about the instance variable. It can be accessed only by creating object. Keep this thing in mind. So now we have the third and last type of the variable, that is the static variable. So what do you mean by static variables? It's a very interesting variable. Last time I told instance variables can be accessed only by object of the class. That time I would have told you that the static variables can only be accessed, and the best way, not only to be accessed, the best way of accessing a static variable is to use the class name where it belongs to. So class name dot static variable name is the standard form of accessing a static variable. In this way, it has been called as class variables. So all of the static variables have another name, is known as the class variable, because whenever a class is loaded, the static variables are loaded, and that value is always same across all of the objects. You can modify static variables value. Suppose static variable value is 100. You can modify through an object the value from suppose 100 to 200. Now this 200 will be a copy. It's like a shareable copy into a computer's memory. Now whatever the numbers of objects you will create for that particular class, all of the objects will be having the same value of that particular static variable. So these static variables are declared similarly as instance variables. The difference is that static variables are declared using the static keyword within a class outside any method, constructor, or block. So instance variables can be defined only outside the method, outside a block, and outside the constructor. Similarly, a class variable, a static variable, can be defined outside a method, outside a constructor, and outside a block only. But the difference here is that for static variable you have to use the static keyword. But the difference with instance variable and class variables, I mean instance variables and static variables, is that we can only have one copy of a static variable per class, irrespective of how many objects we create. You can have 100 objects created for a particular class, but the value, if modified or if assigned to a static variable, will be same to all of the objects. That's where it lies. Let's see. Example is better. Static integer my static hash. This is the name I'm providing. I'll give the value 100 as I told. No, 100 I had given for this instance variable. Give some other value here. Some value like how many students are there? 160 students per class. So you can recall very easily that 60 is given. Static int my static var 60. Yes. So now we can see that how we can directly call this variable. See this now, how we can call this variable. No need, we can call it by objects also. We can call it definitely by objects also. So if you use this object, we can call it. See now the difference in the output. 160 is getting printed here. There is no println I have provided, na? That's in the same line it is displaying. Now it's the best way. Now it will go to the next line. See now 160 is printed. 100 for this line, for this instance variable. Yes, and this is for the static variable. I'll segregate that so that you don't get confused. Instance variable example section. We'll go to a section that is static variable example section. Okay, so here we are showing that how static members can be called. The most important thing here, the beauty of the static is that we can directly call this by using the class name, which is not possible for anything else other than the static method. So we don't need the object to be created actually. I repeat, we don't need the object to be created. I repeat, we don't need the object to be created to access a static variable. Just the class name is sufficient. So no need to create an object. If you don't create this object, for example, if we make comment for these 3 lines, then also it will execute and it will give the result 60. Yes, directly the class name and the static variable names dot class name dot the name of the static variable is sufficient for accessing that. Yes, even if create hundreds of objects, the value will be same. Like if you even change that, okay, let me show you that. Let me show you. Now I'll create another object. I'll create 2-3 objects. Wait, I'll create 2-3 objects. One is object 1, object 2, and object 3, ob3. Now see that if you call each, and I told now for static, each and every object will have the same copy of the value. Same copy will get for each object will get the same copy for an static variable. Now let's see, ob2 and ob3 will get the same copy of 60. Yes, yes, it is coming to the, so this 100 is printed for this particular instance variable only. Okay, whenever the 100 is printed for instance variable and the 60s are printed for static variable. Yes, now if we change that, the value, we can change the value by simply by calling the class name dot name of the static variable, my static var, equals to give some value. We now want to change from 60 to the class strength 70. Now all the objects including ob2, ob3, all will get the value of 70. So here in line number 30 it is printing 60. Then when it is changing over here, it is changing to 70. So even for static we can use public statements. You can make it public. So access specifiers can be used over here, and we can protect it like instance variable only. Like instance variable, we can use this protected, public, each and everything we can use, and we can remove that to make it default also. Private also you can make. Yes, so that's the beauty of static. You don't need to access through an object. Directly you can call by what? Class name. Directly put the class name and can also get executed. Yes. See now, ob1 after modification, ob1 was displaying over here in line number 30 if we wish that I can put it for making it clear. This is line 13 and we'll print this value. This is line 17. Line 18 and this is line. So now you can see that how the things are changing. See. We go to there. So now you can see that now this is 100 is printed for this particular line, line number 8. Then for line number 13, oh sorry, it has become 11 actually. I have to reduce 2. 11, 15, 16, 17. So now you will run it. You can see that line number 11 is giving the value 60. Yes. Line number 15 is giving the value 70. Is modified by 70 because in line number 14 we have modified the value over there. And then line number 15, 16 and 70 is changing the value. Even OB1 is called. Even OB1 is calling over here. OB1 is calling the same static method in line number 70. So here line number 17. So in the line number 11, also OB1 only calling the same static variable. Before it was not modified. So the value of 60 is given. When the value is modified to 70, now all the objects including object 1 and later created objects or OB2, OB3 all are having the same copy of the value 70. So it is very much useful to use static variables when you want that a particular program will have a single value shared by all of the objects. For example, suppose you are creating a calculator. So in a calculator, the value of pi is always same, na 3.14159. You can create a static integer pi is equals to 3.14159. You can make it final. Final means cannot be changed. Here I have not made the static variable final, so I can change it. Change the value from 60 to 70, correct? You have to make static and final together, then it can never be changed. Yes, and it can be accessed always. So that's another topic, the final variable and all. So for the time being, hope that you have understood the difference between local variable, instance variable and class variable and their own benefits, their own usage and their own scopes. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Please subscribe and like these videos. Thank you very much.